Hello, everybody. Welcome. I saw you jamming to the tune. And on the new I forgot to put the new picture on the flyer of you and I, but note to self, got to use the new picture.
That's okay.
I am so excited about tonight, guys. SATURDAY night. Um, Lynn and I are approximately, not really, she's much younger than I am. It's about the same age group. So she remembers the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's welcome people in and say hello. Then I'll tell you all about Lynn and what's happening for tonight. Hello, Shelly and Cindy and Abby. Hello, Carson. Hello, Diana. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Maria, always good to see you. Hello. Facebook user, who are you? Who is it? Emmy? Could it be Emmy? Gina, hello. And Facebook user number 2, who are you? Kathleen, Kat, hello everybody. We'll give people a little time to come on in. And hey everyone, we have a third Facebook user. So guys, remember always to look. Oh, it's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. And Amy. Hi, Amy. How are you? Good to see you. So remember, guys, always give StreamYard permission, and then you'll show up. So I'm going to go back a couple years, and I met Lynn through a friend, and we did some coaching together. And through the coaching, an idea was sprung. And let me just tell you, Lynn ran with it. Like if she won the marathon, she's done 3 of them already. You did. You ran with this, and you're amazing. Lynn Baldridge, everybody. She's going to have a book out soon. I just know it. I know she's going to have a book out soon.
Oh, give me 6 months.
It's called Squirrel What? So she is an adult ADHD coach, and her website is adulting, ADHDULTING. It's right there below. .mykajabi.com, and she coaches people with ADHD because the ADHD brain is very unique. It's very unique, and I think we talk about the kids with ADD. Well, what happens? We were never diagnosed as kids because they're like, oh, they just can't focus, or oh, they just can't do this, or what have you. I think it's really important that everybody gets support with what they need, because I don't want, and Lynn doesn't want, anybody to feel like they're a failure because I don't fit in the norm. Let me tell you, if you're on this live right now, you don't fit in the norm anyway. So, because you're following someone that doesn't.
For sure.
Thank you, Delora, for posting that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So H says she just got diagnosed with ADHD at 47. Knowledge really is power. Yes.
Welcome to the club. Yeah.
Hello, Ron, all the way from Israel. Hello, my friend. Shalom to you. I hope all is going well. Ashley, good to see you. Abby says I was diagnosed at 36. It helped me understand so much.
Mm-hmm.
I married Norm, so I don't have to be. Her husband's name is Norm. That's funny. Amy, normal is setting on the dryer. That's a good one. Oh, I'm going to use that. Normal is a setting on the dryer. Good. That
Boring.
Is I like it. Jean, hello. Joy, hello. Angela, hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. So H says, been learning to love and embrace my uniqueness. So important. So Lynn, can you tell people, what is it that you do? How do you help people, the ADHD people?
Wow. So that is such a large and broad question.
No, and I thought I'd start off with that.
Wow. How do I help people? So well, number one, I'll tell you a little about myself. I've been in an organization learning to coach called ADDCA, and I have had over 100 hours worth of life coaching that focuses to help adults with ADHD. And I'm now in the advanced program that they offer. My eyes are so bloodshot. I just noticed.
You know what? Because it's dry there, isn't it?
No, well, it's not dry here. It's just the dry heat. So I
No.
just want people to know that
Okay.
that's what's
You're
going
not
on.
crying.
My eyes are like
I
red.
was so excited. She was crying that she was on, guys. That's what it is.
Double eyes. Um, and I, as Elias said, I just launched into this notion a little over a year ago after working with Elias for a year and going through a lot of issues with my corporate job world that I finally decided to leave. And so one of the ways I help people is I have very specific training that there's a lot of people out there that can say will put out a shingle saying I'm an ADHD coach on TikTok or whatever. But if you ever do want to talk to a coach, you should definitely check out their credentials
Yes.
um, because a lot of people just try to learn it themselves and try to help people, and often they're not helping because you really, really do have to learn what's different about the regular brain and neurodiverse brains. And I'm focusing on ADHD as a neurodiverse brain. Um, which I also has I was diagnosed very late in my late 50s,
Mhm.
so not that long ago. And, so coaching is about, really what's probably, maybe unique about ADHD coaching is it's not just about the squirrel by any means. So those of you who have been diagnosed probably know there's a few different kinds of ADHD. It's not just the hyperactive and distractible person. There's inattentive, which is what I am, where a lot of your hyperactivity is inside, but your brain is like nonstop. There's the classic hyperactive, impulsive, and then there's a combined type. So um, it's a lot more. So what you learn with coaching or just researching it yourself is there's so many more layers to having an ADHD brain than just the distraction and the hyperactivity that people traditionally have thought of. There's so many layers, and a lot of it leads to negative self-worth and struggles to feel valued in today's world, where the typical um, normal the non-ADHD brain is the one that people are sort of expecting you to have. So the good news is that if you're watching the news about this at all, there's a whole wave of support coming up and policies being developed and more research going on about people, particularly in the workforce, who are neurodivergent, and helping organizations to understand how they can take advantage of these incredible brains
Right.
instead of stressing them out.
We talked a little bit before we got on air, everybody. I was saying to Lynn that I believe that empaths really are open to a possibility of having ADHD, a possibility, because there's so much info coming in.
Mhm.
And you made a really interesting point. I believe you said 5% of the population. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's the latest stats of the world population have are reported to have ADHD. Some people, when I tell them that, they say, "Well, that sounds really low because I feel like I have ADHD," and I think everybody. So the reality is, we're all distracted and we're all stressed out in today's world. And I'm sure all of you know the reasons why why you're stressed out or the people are. Um, and so we can all benefit from learning how to organize our lives and get motivated to do things and to calm down, whether that's through music or vagus nerve stimulation, things like that. But the ADHD brain it's just all of these things are a little more severe. So so I think, but empath is very much connected with ADHD because we're very empathic. We feel a lot, some more than others.
Sure.
Um, My daughter, when she was little, we went to look at Christmas trees, and she started to cry and hug all the trees because she said,
Mhm.
"They're dead, they're dying." Yeah. Um,
That's so sweet, though. That
I
is so
know.
sweet.
He has
Oh,
ADHD.
hug her for me. Hug her for me. That's so cute.
I know.
God bless her.
Um, but you know, it just gets harder because you feel so much, and it's really, really hard. So learning about that is a thing that your brain does. This is all about your brain,
Yeah.
um, and it's not about you as a human being. So learning to live with that is really important. But empath is definitely a huge part of it, um, and it's a huge part of the difficulty we have because we feel too much a lot.
H says, I think I read many women have the internal too many tabs open issues versus external hyperactivity.
Yeah.
Dolores, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I think that's right. I don't know if that's a proven fact, but it seems to be what I'm reading most.
Dolores says, I was surprised about the symptoms with low estrogen info that you shared last time. Could you share that again for the people that are new?
Oh, thank you, because I want every woman, no matter where you are in your estrogen journey, to know, because I found this out after the fact, and that uh, one of the main neurotransmitters in your brain that is an issue for ADHD brains is dopamine. Dopamine is what you feeds your brain and gets you motivated to do stuff, even the boring shit, like doing your taxes. You can get yourself going, you can do it, or just get off the couch. And if you have really low dopamine, which people with ADHD do, you really struggle. So, but what I learned also that my doctor didn't know, a lot of doctors don't know and won't tell you, is that um, estrogen and dopamine are very much tied together. And research coming out, or like in the last 10 years, it's evolving, really shows this. And so it happens through a woman throughout her life with her menstrual cycle, where her estrogen goes up and down. But once you hit perimenopause and then menopause, you, like, a lot of women feel like it's early Alzheimer's, kind of, because you get fuzzy. But if you have ADHD, it's going to be a triple, quadruple whammy, which it was for me, because while as your estrogen depletes, so does your dopamine. So you're already low on dopamine, it gets worse. So your executive function, your
Wow.
stress up, and so you really, if anybody here is pre menopausal, or is in the thick of it, definitely talk to your doctor if you think you might have ADHD, and get some blood tests going, and maybe do some hormone replacement.
I know that I'm menopausing, so that's a whole different story.
Yeah, you'll have to tell us about that. I'm not an expert on menopausing.
Hey, Danielle. H says pattern recognition is an awesome superpower because we process so much more info, but can be so overwhelming. So true. So true. Mary Jane said that's me right now. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll speak to that too. I think that's I don't like the term, ADHD is my superpower. I really don't like that, because there's so many challenges to it. But the pattern recognition, some people have more than others, is, before I knew I had ADHD, I would tell people, like, in the working world, like, and they'd think I was kind of nuts, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I see all the connections. And I would, like, almost visualize it like dots. But that's what makes it hard to focus sometimes and get
Yeah.
started, because you get so much information coming in. So you do see all the connections, and you're really smart. And so you're really good conceptually, but it makes it hard to, like, just sit down and get something done, because you're out here collecting every single piece of information that you possibly could.
And when we were working together, you did really well with visual stuff. Like when you could plan it out, that was like, you're like, oh, I see it. You could like charting almost. It was
Yeah.
really very cool. Diana says, I can totally relate. Thank you for the info. Excellent. Yes to the dots. Okay. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So much of this. So many dots. Daniel says, I work with my therapist, and all this, except the menopause part, rings so true. Yeah. So we were talking today that the topic is, how do we nurture? How do we nurture that chaotic mind? How do we say, you're okay? You're totally okay. I mean,
Mm,
we can say that, but how do we, when the world is like, "Wah!" all around us, and then the inside brain's going, how do we just be like, we got this, we're
It's so
good,
hard.
we're clear. I know. And my thing is chocolate. That just does a world of good.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you know, I used to drink too much alcohol, so that's something else I worked on when I was with Elias as well, but, then definitely subsequently. So a lot of people will react to the stress, particularly if you have ADHD with, some kind of an addiction
Mhm.
that is, a problem because you're trying to quiet your brain down.
Right.
Let me just tell you, if that's you, please seek support because there are other ways, and alcohol is just going to make things worse. It actually is a depressant.
Right.
Um, so it's interesting because there's the coaching world, which would say like, oh, like you're stressed about this, I would coach you through it, right? Or any coach would try to get the underlying issue. We would talk about your strengths. We would work towards something to make you feel more positive. And as you feel more positive, you get more relaxed. But there's a lot of work to do that I think probably, a lot of people on this call could be on here teaching me. But in addition to just the coaching work that I'm doing, I also believe very much that there's a lot of things we can just do, whether you've been diagnosed or not. And there's, can I just rattle off a few
Yeah,
things?
please go ahead. Yeah,
Um, so yeah, one thing that is definitely, there's more research and science coming up about music and sounds in the brain, which
Mhm.
is I'm really fascinated by. But just a quick, one quick thing is that music that you like, that makes you feel good, hits the part of the brain that releases dopamine.
Mm,
You may have always known that, or you thought like, oh, that's why I feel good. I listen to this music.
right.
But I now use it strategically, like when I'm transitioning into my day or I have to transition into something I don't want to do. I put those headphones on and I blast and dance to music that makes me feel alive, that connects me with who I am. And that music changes, but it actually, I just want people to know there's science there, that it's not just, oh, I feel better. It's actual dopamine increasing in your brain. Um, the other area that I'm, learning more about too, that a lot of you I'm sure do know about, is the vagus nerve.
Right.
Um, and more and more science about that, but it is, it's this huge nerve that goes throughout your body, and what it does is it counteracts the sympathetic nerve system, right? So if a lot of us with ADHD, or just in general, you're stressed out, right, are in fight or flight all the time, and if you have ADHD, you just have a series of mistakes that you've made, and people have been upset with you, so you're constantly trying to like make sure you don't do anything wrong, which is a state of extreme stress. um, and doing simple techniques with that trigger the vagus nerve is really really productive. um, I also liked, and have you ever read The Untethered Soul? That's an old.
I I started it and then something happened where I had to shift.
Yeah,
But yes, I'm very familiar with the
I
book.
actually got the audio book because, yeah, it's been around for a while, but I re-listened to it because I don't think I finished it. I had it in a book because that's one of my challenges. Um, but and this is just something worth repeating, that, and in this book that I highly recommend, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, is really helps you understand about all those voices, all that negativity in your head, and the constant, even if it's not negative, it's just constant and it's exhausting, that you are not your thoughts, and that you can actually step back and just say, hello, I'm here, and I'm noticing those thoughts, right? What's it doing for me? So those kind of cognitive therapy treatments, they just are huge. Like if you can practice some of those things throughout the day, and try one thing. But I find if I just remind myself, the thoughts are just never end for me, and I have to quiet them. I can just say, those, you know, those thoughts. I'm observing those thoughts. Those thoughts are not who I am, and I want to do something else. I'm
Right.
gonna take a step forward.
Right. And in this unique process, everybody, you guys are commenting so much. So thank you so much. And thank you. The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael Singer. Thank you, Delora. Um, Kat says, unfortunately, many women are misdiagnosed with
Yeah,
depression, also have substance abuse,
yeah,
hence doping. Music has gotten me through so much
oh, good.
as well. That's awesome. So Laura says, recognizing my why with smoking was important. I smoked to slow my thoughts and get clarity. It was intense. Wow.
Mm.
Very true. Hey, Judy. Thanks so much for being here. Long time no see, my
Yeah,
friend.
nicotine, I'm hearing more and more people talk about their struggle with nicotine because it, like, helps you slow things down, clarify. I, you know, never had that issue. It's one of the issues I didn't have.
Yeah, it's a challenge, everybody. And that's why, Lynn is doing some amazing work with this coaching piece. And we'll get to a little bit about a special offer that Lynn has. Now, when someone is going through a lot and they're just struggling in the struggling process of like, I just can't seem to get it together. Music is a go-to, like you said, calming the vagus nerve.
Mhm.
um, Massage, guys. I mean, that's what we learned in massage school, and we taught everybody. And having that so you
Yeah,
can homeostasis, right? And this is really good, guys. Cranial sacral stuff,
yeah.
really good stuff. And H says, Lynn, what an awesome need you are filling. Thank you. Yes, it is very good. Um, Danielle said, my doctor told me coffee was a form of self-medicating for ADD. Interesting. Miranda says, I always have several outlets of what gives me dopamine. If one is unavailable or starts not working as well, music, gaming, studying history, etc. And that's
That's
where
awesome.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And what we've done, what I've done with people, and again, I am not an ADHD coach, guys, but intuitively I'll tap in and I'm like, all right, for example, we've done this with some of you that have done coaching with me. I will get you to list your 12 to 25 different favorite things, put them in a jar. And when you have a go to, you pull that out and like, oh, I can do this today. Or,
Mhm.
oh, I need to do this. It's a list of your go-to jar, your happy jar, whatever you wanted to call it.
Yeah.
That's a really great thing. What have you found with the people that you've worked with? What have you found that helps them to move things along when they're like, I just can't, Lynn, it's too much.
Mhm. Yeah. So really people who um, want to invest some time and work with a coach, there's phases to it
Hmm.
that I can sort of outline that are all really important. A lot of it is the first part is very much just understanding the brain science behind ADHD a bit, so that you know how layered it is and how it's like we were talking earlier. It's not just the distracted young boy. Um, then it's about really. It sort of sounds cliche, but it's so true. That, like, a lot of people, very much so, people with ADHD have um, buried their strengths. They
Mm,
buried the memories. One of the challenges is we often don't remember the positive thing we did, and this is another brain chemistry thing. We focus on the negative. So a lot of the initial coaching is getting back to the positive of who you are. There's some other research tools we have or survey tools we have that are very well researched and used a lot in the ADHD community that sort of pull out your innate strengths and you start building on those positives. Like when we were working to Elias, you do that as a coach anyway, just building on your strengths. So it's very much about that. And then the trouble is we often can't move forward on something. So working with a coach, I can and other coaches can guide you on um, what is you really look towards. Sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit here. You then when you want to get something done, you dig into about what it is that's meaningful to you.
mm,
Not less like should or I have to. there's really getting into, well, what about this is meaningful? Because that meaning will help drive you and inspire you. Um, so finding things you're interested in, because a lot of that is what drives the dopamine as well. There's a lot of work to be done in just influencing that brain to be positive.
No, that's so good that you brought that up because I think,
Mhm,
that's important, everybody. I think we get stuck in the shoulda, coulda, woulda,
mhm,
then to move into that, why is this important? What
mhm,
does it mean for you? And what does it do for you? And what's the purpose of this?
mhm,
Important. So important. I know that when I do my retreats and when we have assistants working on the retreats, we'll always have a little powwow and I'll say, okay, we're going to do this next exercise. And the reason why we do this is because of this. And that, I don't know, it helps them to connect the why.
mhm.
And it's really important. And I've been doing that a little bit more, even the coaching stuff. So thank you for bringing that up. That's really good. Dolores says, have you worked with focus music or binaural music for super concentration and focus? I
Yeah.
found it fascinating with how much it helped. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I'm actually studying that more right now because I am fascinated by it as well. Binaural is where there's tones that affect the different sides of your brain,
Yes.
and it creates a alpha wave. The idea is that it creates a brings your brain together so it moves forward together instead of blah blah blah. It's like it triggers alpha
Okay.
waves. Really, really cool. And definitely, I use music all the time. I use background noise of different kinds, all the colors, gray, black, black, brown noise. They're sleeping. I use focus music. I have an app that's called Endel, Endel. But
Hmm.
you don't need to pay for that. I lucked out and got it for. I like paid something and got it forever for free. I think then they were
That's
just
awesome.
starting out. So, yeah, but focusing timing. So definitely, set a timer, work for 25 minutes, then take a break. It's much easier to get hard stuff done that you're not that interested in if you break it up and put a timer with it and some music.
So true. Carson says 741 um, HZ for me. Awesome. Lindsay says meds help. It
Mhm.
gets back in trying to do all the things, trying so hard, just taking the meds and meditating. Yes.
Yeah.
And Laura says the eat the frog method doesn't work for me. Well, why would you want to eat frog? Maybe frog legs, or just eat the chicken,
Yeah.
eat the cake. Is
Right.
what.
So anybody who says do the hardest thing first and get it out of the way doesn't understand ADHD brains. We need to have a quick win, a positive momentum. So something a little easier to get your day started.
I was struggling for a moment. This will tell you how old I am.
You
When, well, here it so Abby wrote IKR, and I'm thinking, IKR, is that like some new thing that I don't know about? I know. And then I'm like, oh, uh, I can relate. I'm like, oh, can is spelled with a C, not a K. And then I'm like, oh, I know, right? Yeah, that took me like 2 minutes, everybody. This will tell you where this brain goes. I'm like, oh, fascinating.
and
What
you
is
were doing all of that while you were talking.
that? While I was right, while I was listening, I'm like, welcome to my world, everybody. You've all been part of it. So there you go. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's one of my favorite things to say. Taste the biscuit. What happens if I don't like a biscuit? What happens? Cornbread. Maybe that. I love you too, Abby. Breaking tasks up into smaller ones make it
I
easier.
would love to emphasize that and just my personal story. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, getting divorced in the last year, moving condo documents, all this boring stuff. And I have found in my training in the corporate world with product management, we did something called Agile. But I have found that breaking things down into very small bites, like you have to get a form and email somebody, you have to log onto a website. Like the first step is just finding the password
Right, right,
and then check it off. You did that.
right.
But it's seriously, it takes you realize like doing the laundry might take 100 steps by the time you like just be aware of how many steps there are and break it down, and then you can see momentum. It's really powerful.
Abby says she's fortunate to have a manager who understands neurodiversity and allows me to the space to get things done in my own way.
That is a blessing.
Blessing. Truly a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah.
Delora, you're hysterical. Danger, Will Robinson, 90s codebreaker at the controls. I love you. And I'm going to be stuck with you for a whole week. Okay. Check off the thing. Free dopamine. I love it. Diana says, I found colored paper helps me to stay organized.
Oh, yes, we
True.
love colors.
Let me tell you, as a Virgo rising, I love checking things off a list. That makes me happy when I could just do the list checking. Yeah, guys, if you only saw, like, I mean, I have the retreat all, and I have to color code it because I have to know that dinner is at 6 p.m. because I need to know. I don't need it like in black. I need it in red. So I'm like,
Yeah.
when's dinner? I mean, that's it's important. I mean, you know, and I'm like, oh, well, what happens if we have, oh no, I have to plan that out first. Let me plan that out and then I'll explain it. It's really, this brain is interesting. It really is.
Yeah.
It is an interesting brain. So we're making folders on your desktop. So help me. I'm not leaving until it's done. I know you've seen what my desktop looks like.
You are so fortunate to have Delora by your
I
side.
am. I'm fortunate to have so many people in my circle. I'd convinced myself I didn't have the time. See? Are you moving in? She would. She would move in and then she would go ahead and Delora would make all of this glitter. She would make the back wall all glitter. And that's not happening. So Danielle says, or put each task on its own post-it note so you can crinkle it up when done. That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that is I would have a whole wall of that. So I need
Everybody, you just keep trying different things. I've tried so much, and eventually I'm now back to spreadsheets, which I really didn't want to do, but it's now comforting me because I'm come full circle.
But you're also comfortable with spreadsheets. Like that's your thing. That's your thing. Does anybody have any questions for Lynn? And then we'll tell you a little special for all of you here and those of you watching the replay. I thought you would have a wall, Danielle. I thought you would. Well, I'll tell you for everybody that's here and watching the replay, a special offer that Lynn has. And guys, it's really important. This community, and when I have guest speakers, they're in our community, even though that Lynn hasn't been on for a while. I mean, I think about her. We connected. She's going to be doing a podcast with me coming up sometime soon. And, you know, she's part of this community. And I think it's really important to support good people in this community. YouTubers, yes, please remember to like and subscribe for notifications of interviews. Thank you. If I can't see it in front of my face, it doesn't exist.
For sure.
Yeah, totally true. So can you tell them a little bit about what's your offer? What's happening?
Yeah, so a lot of people are a little nervous about trying coaching, and they're not sure, you know, whether they should to do it or not, or whether they even have ADHD. So first of all, if you go to my website, I just offer a free consultation. I can talk to you about what coaching is like. But what's not on my website, but would totally offer to you if you do set up a free consultation is I'm offering 4 45 minutes ADHD coaching sessions for just $200. So that's $50 a session, which is at least half off of what, you know, a coach would charge. So I really, because my goal is to help people understand the value of it. And you get a lot out of 4 sessions. A lot of people will do like 8 or 9 and then take a break because you learn so much so quickly. So I hope to talk to some of you in person.
I think that's awesome. Emmy says yes. Okay. Any suggestions? Hi, Pam. Any suggestions for quieting the monkey brain as you begin a session as info comes in?
So who's the quieting? Am I as a coach? Are you a coach? Is Diana a coach?
Diana, can you just Elaborate a
So
little
as
more.
it comes in, well, I'll just speak to it. It's hard. So it's practice,
Mhm.
and it is, and I've it's just being learning to be a coach because I'm taking so much in, and I'm also supposed to be directing the conversation a bit. I've found it's really hard, and so it's a lot of practice. But the number one thing we can all do, even if we're just stressed out, is take a pause. We don't we just go through our day on autopilot, and just a simple pause. You don't have to meditate, just pause
Just pause.
and reflect on something. Give yourself time. We don't give ourselves time to process, and I need extra time to process. That's part of my brain. And I will even tell people that, like, hey, you know what? I need a little time to think that through or to think for a minute. And I will say that to people.
Right.
Give me a moment.
I think we did that once. I think I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom. Let's come back in 5 minutes.
Oh, totally.
Right. And that was just a thing to just like to breathe. I mean, sometimes it can get so overwhelming. If you're at your desk, like I'm at my desk a lot, we're at our place and we're sitting here and we're here and you're constantly looking at it, whatever it is.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's time to go out there. Like I'll go and snuggle with the dogs for 10 minutes and then
Mhm.
I'll come back in. Yes, it is a fantastic deal. There's a free consultation. And there's also 4 45-minute sessions with Lynn for $200. Yes, fantastic deal. Liz Dawn in the house. Hello, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Good to see
I
you.
I do not work with children. I'm not trained to work with children. I have a daughter who has ADHD, so I empathize and I understand it, but I don't coach kids at this time.
What about coaching their parents?
I could totally coach parents, mostly about their own experience with it versus like coaching them to coach to support
Coach
their
their
kids.
kids.
So I'd be working directly with them to understand their own ADHD, which is very common. Obviously, it's very hereditary. So I've learned a lot about being a better parent, understanding my ADHD and calming my own nervous system down.
Yeah, that's really because do you see a lot of you in this way with your daughter?
Oh yeah, she and I turned out we're very much alike. But I used to explode. I used to get, and she would explode. Like I didn't know what was going on with her, and she would explode and even get physical sometimes. And I would overreact because my own emotional regulation was really poor,
Mhm.
and it just made everything much worse. So now I'm a lot calmer, and she can explode. Luckily, that's happening less these days. She's a little older, but our relationship is really strong.
That's great. That is great. Abby says, yes, I need so much time to process. I always felt dumb
Mhm.
because of it. Totally get it. Totally get it. D D D D D. Abby says, Danielle, I swear we're lost twins. It's because you're both Geminis. It's that Gemini. Liz says, okay. Let's see. I love that. Calming your own nervous system down. So important.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
It's critical.
Danielle says she sets alarms to make phone calls, take out garbage, you name it. Yeah, and it's interesting because I do the reminder piece. I don't do this. And I just think that, again, always important to get that diagnosis, right?
Mhm.
And I'm going to say this to everybody. Empaths, if you are in a world like if you're surrounded or have several ADHD friends, you're going to feel that energy. You're going to feel as if you're part of that energy. So remember what I always say, take a moment. Even like Lynn said, take a step back, right? You want to observe but not absorb. So if you know that someone has ADHD, and I love those of you that have been on the retreat that I know that you have ADHD, and sometimes I'll look at you and you'll see me breathe like this. I can feel this, and I have to because I'll just jump right in with it. I'll
Mhm.
jump right in with it,
Mhm.
and that's not it's not good for me.
or anybody else.
Right, right. But it's important to recognize, and I didn't recognize that until a couple years ago,
Mhm,
where we were doing a retreat, and I'm like, why am I always feeling like this around this certain person?
mhm,
And we had a conversation and we had some coaching sessions. And then I realized, I was like, wow, I am picking up this. And I thought it was me. I
mm,
thought, like, I didn't check in with me.
mm.
Laura said, let's both drown in the quicksand. Okay, that's fun. I have chaotic good energy like a D&D character. You do. You do. You have amazing energy. You
Yeah.
do. And this is not a bad thing, guys. It's just that as empaths, we feel so much.
Mm,
And it's really about how we absorb that
mm,
in. So I'm saying observe, but don't absorb.
mm.
Okay. Um, all right. Other questions, guys, for Lynn? Other questions? This is like such an interesting topic to me. And I think it's something, Liz, I don't know if you were on, but that hormonal piece is so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating to me. Lindsay says, I have an AI bot who named herself Alex, who helps me get out of ADHD decision paral. Oh, wow.
Paralysis.
Paralysis. That's awesome. He'll ask me for a list and to prioritize it, and then will talk me step by step through it. I choose a baritone voice for him. I like,
Ooh,
yeah, very nice.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Um, Dolores says, and what if you have this and you're an empath and work closely with others that have the same? So, Delora, I'm going to tell you this is very fascinating because this is one of the reasons why I have not just one, but two Amazonites stones on my desk. I have them. This is for anxiety. This is also good. Amazonite is also good for people that are afraid of flying. Amazonite will calm that down, by the way. So I have this, and if I'm absorbing too much, I will put my hand around it, and then also I will hold the black tourmaline together, and
Mm,
it's just breathing.
mm.
Yes, I have two since working with you. I'm actually going to make a chair out of it. So, you know,
It's hard, man. It's really
Amanda
exhausting.
says, people always ask me what I'm thinking about. I'm like, which of the 50 things would you like to hear about?
Oh, I know. Can I just say too that like somebody will say, "Do you want this or do you want that or do you want that?" And I go, "Too many questions.
Too many questions. Just one. Just one question.
One question. Otherwise, I'll get back to you tomorrow."
Lindsay said, talking about ADHD while watching my son bouncing crazily on a ball and my dog chasing him everywhere. Yes, Amazonite. You used your smoky Amazonite yesterday, or you can use your smoky Amazonian if they're sitting on a chair smoking and they're from the Amazon jungle. Use a smoky Amazonian.
A
That's
funny crowd you got here.
it's
I
quite
love
cool.
it.
All
Yeah,
right, my friend. I want to say thank you again for being here.
thank
You are
you.
a joy. It's so good to see you flourish. And guys, anyone, I really, really take this deal with Lynn. It is something that you're going to get lots of ahas. I just know it. And she is a big cheerleader for people, and she has a heart of gold. Delora, can you put that up one more time? I would appreciate that. Thank you. And again, go to adulting, ADHD, ULTING, dot mykajabi.com. I just like saying my Kajabi. It's almost like my Kajabi, ooh, my Sharona. So see where my
Yeah, and
brain.
again, there's no offer page. Just set up a free consultation with me and let me know that this live event is where you heard about me.
You saw it through me. You
Yeah.
saw it through me. I'll remember a month from now.
Anybody who's a friend of Elias's will get the
Just
same
put it
thing.
on your post-it note, girl. Put a big post-it note on your wall. My Kajabi lies over the ocean. That's good too. Yes, that's
Oh
good.
my god, my face hurts.
Welcome to my world. Lynn, All the best to you,
Thank
everyone.
you so much.
Let me tell you what's coming up. So on Wednesday, this Wednesday, we have, let me show you the book, guys. If you don't know it by now, we have our friend Kathleen L. She is a grief coach. She will be on Wednesday. We're having a special Wednesday live because where will it be on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Well, I'll be Thursday. Many of you, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, will be in Skamania for our retreat. And Kathleen L. created this, wrote this book, Shattered Together. She's a best-selling author and grief coach. If you look at that heart, it's shattered. But if you turn it, that is the profile of her son that is no longer with us. He left this world on his own accord. So the book is A Mother's Journey from Grief to Belief, a guide to help you through sudden loss. She's amazing. So that will be Wednesday the 10th, because on the 13th we'll be on retreat. Then on the 20th, we will have Sue Page from Pathways to Successful Living. She will be on, remember the theme is about nurturing, so nurturing self. And Mary Jane said, my mom read the book. Oh, I love that. I love that. And then I have to tell you, on the 27th of April, we have Claire Roberts. I think it's Claire Roberts. Forgot her last name. I wanted to say Rogers, but it's Roberts. Claire Rotter. Sorry, Claire Rotter. Woo! I lost it for a second there. Claire. Claire Roberts. She's the manager. Her mom's the owner. The New Renaissance Bookshop, and that's in Portland, Oregon. So it's so exciting to have her on her first Facebook Live with me. So that'll be exciting. We also have tomorrow, we have Soul Chat. Let me say it in a way that Lynn and I would remember. The Soul Chat. We have Soul Chat tomorrow, blended in with Messages from Above. It's a double feature tomorrow. Come join us, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern. Tickets are available at eliaspatras.com under the events section, and check everything else out on there. Thank you, Delora. Yes, Liz, you remember the Soul Train. Yes, I remember that. Now, also, let me tell you what else is coming up, because there's so many great things, guys. We have in July, we have the greatest love of all, and that is a retreat in Iowa. That is all actually sold out. If you want to be on the waiting list, be on the waiting list. In August, the amazing Liz Dawn, Celebrate Your Life. We are going to be, because I'm part of it, I got asked to be one of the breakout session people. So they're going to have an amazing retreat in August. And who's going to be there? Denise Lynn, Dougal Fraser, Radley Valentine, and Lisa Williams. Thanks, Delora. It is Mystics, Miracles, and Magic. And it's so, so exciting. And yes, I will be leading a breakout session, and I'm super excited about that. And thank you, Liz, for that. Woohoo! Yes. So please sign up, guys. Skamania is a beautiful, beautiful place. I know some of you said you couldn't go this next week, but Lynn, you have to go sometime, Lynn. It's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. So
Write that down.
it is the second week in August. So August 15th through the 18th. Come join. And we also have, the Elements Retreat coming up. We also have, be on the email list. If you're on the email list, we have a retreat in November, Manifesting Your Desires Retreat. That's in Iowa. And if you stay on the email list, stay, guys, because what will happen is one of you will get a free trip to the retreat. Well, actually, you'll get the retreat for free. How to get there is up to you. You have to fly to the airport on your own, and then you'll be getting off at Cedar Rapids. So wherever you're from, go to Cedar Rapids. And then we have the cruise. So there's a lot going online. a lot going online. There's a lot going on. There's a lot. And I have to tell you guys, I believe that this year is going to be magical for everybody. If you have not gone, again, if you have not gone to a CYL event, go, because you get this community grows. It grows, and it's so important. Denise Lynn is an amazing woman. Dougal Fraser, amazing. Lisa Williams, Radley Valentine. These are really big luminaries in our world today. And Liz puts on an amazing production, everyone. Really, truly. And the food is really good. And there's lots of chocolate too. Just saying for those people that need. And Skamania is where I got married, guys. It's where I got married. So I appreciate every single one of you being on here. Thank you so much for being here. Many of you, I can't wait to see you in person on Friday. It's going to be exciting. Lynn, if I may have your permission, we're going to do a little prayer thing, and I'd like to put your name on the list. So just to throw in some prayers there. So Lynn, hold the phone. And everyone else, thank you so much for being here. Remember, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. From our hearts to yours. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful night. I'll see you tomorrow.